Hey, Bobcat Nation, Dr. Cochran here. We're here with our seniors from our student leadership group, and we brought in a community leader, Judge Andy Eads.
Hi, everybody.
I'm going to get to know him a little bit today. The purpose of this meeting is for leaders of today to visit with leaders of tomorrow and really share the Bobcat spirit and pride that we have going on in Krum. So I want to turn it over. Guys, always get a second chance to introduce yourselves and let us know who you are so the people out there watching and Judge Eads can get to know y'all a little bit, but you guys are seniors here at Krum. I'm going to turn a little bit over to you guys. Ladies first, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do out here.
I'm Caitlin Marcus, and I'm a senior, and I'm just involved in a lot of sports here at Krum High School.
I'm also a senior. I'm Braden Jones, and I am an athlete for Krum High School.
That's great. Well, and I'm Andy Eads. I'm the Denton County Judge. I remember being a senior years and years ago. So,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Old Town Louisville, and I'm fifth generation from Denton County. So our family goes way back here. So yeah, it's great to be, from this county with a long, rich history, and for our family to get to be a part of it, and then but also to welcome new people to the county. So excited.
I think I read that you went up to Virginia for college, up at Liberty.
No, I went to Liberty Christian High School.
That's where.
Yeah,
that's,
so
I
I'm
misread
a
that.
product
I
of
thought it was
Louisville.
Liberty College.
No,
okay.
So I went to.
I was trying to make that connection.
Simmons?
Yeah, no.
Was it Hardin Simmons?
Howard Payne.
Howard Payne.
So
Okay,
I went
that's
to
it.
Liberty Christian. I graduated, but I spent first half of my education at Louisville ISD, and then I went to Liberty Christian, which was when it was back up in Denton.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I graduated, and then I went to. There's 8 Baptist colleges in Texas, and so I went to the one in Brownwood, which was Howard Payne University. So it's right by Hardin Simmons, and that's out in Abilene. So anyway, so I went there and really enjoyed university life and being involved. I got a business degree, and I wanted to be a city manager when I grew up. And so the great career path and degree plan for that is to kind of get a business degree and then to come to North Texas because they have a really good nationally recognized program, a graduate program for to get a master's in public administration. So most city managers have a MPA, and so that's what I decided to do. So I went and kind of went that route. So kind of trained in the government from a graduate degree. So and it kind of went from there. So it's super fun.
So you've always been interested in being a part of the city kind of environment with that?
Yeah, I think my first interest in the public sector was when my dad was a Farmers Branch fireman, and he retired as a battalion fire chief. And, so I had the great privilege. I don't know if they do it anymore, but, I could go to the fire station with him, and get up early and be at the fire station for the 24-hour period, get to spend the night there. And so kind of being raised in and around a fire station really brought me aware of the great things that, local government can do, and how you get to help people. And so that was something very important to me. And I didn't really want to pursue a fire career. My uncle was a fireman. My daddy was a fireman. My brother-in-law was a fireman. But I thought I would do something a little bit different, but help out in the same way. And so that was, it helped the public do public service.
Right.
And so that's how I kind of got into the county world.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Was Liberty Christian a charter school or public?
No, it was a private Christian school. It was a private Christian school. It was not a charter school. Charter schools are a big thing now, but back then they were not. Charter schools were not even.
It was just like public or private?
Yeah, public or private. Yeah, public or private. So it was a private school. Yeah, my older sister went there. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the public schools. Love the public schools. My kids go to public schools. All my kids went through the Louisville School District. I'm a big believer in public education, but it was a good avenue, and I did enjoy the religious aspect of it and the value system that they taught, and pursued that voluntarily when I went off to get my bachelor's degree. So it was great.
How many siblings do you have? Just one
I have
sister?
one older sister. One older sister. Yeah, I do.
And then you're talking about your kids. How many kids do you have?
So I have 3 kids, and so the kids are it's boy, girl, and so Everett he's 25 and he works for the state senator Tan Parker, and Tan used to represent Krum up here many years ago, and so when he was a state rep, but so he works for Senator Parker down in Austin. He works in the district office, and then now the session's going on, so they're down there. So when I leave y'all today, when I leave Krum, I'm going down to Austin tonight because I got to work on some bills tomorrow. So I'm going to be going down. It's a busy time of year for lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hopefully get to see him in the morning, And I got my younger son, his name is Addison. And so he works he's a leasing agent. I'm very proud of him. Both the boys went to Texas Tech, and our daughter graduates Marcus this year. So she didn't do sports like you. She did drill team. So she's a drill team. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We're starting a drill team next year.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a new program we're adding in.
Good.
So
yeah, it's a great opportunity. She's really enjoyed it, had a good time with it.
We're keeping up with the growth that's coming to this area. We're trying as fast as we can. We
I
got
know.
multiple construction projects happening, houses booming all over the place. We're trying to keep up with it. We got a really supportive community for it, but it's a rat race. We got a middle school being built. We just finished an addition to an elementary school. We're remodeling one of the entryways in the old middle school, and then building a career and technology center.
Yeah. So we have about 86 people a day move to Denton County. So, and if we were a state, if you were to add up all the states from the most populated down to the least populated, and Denton County's over 1 million people. And so if you were to add that up, we would be number 46. We'd be the 46th state by population. Denton County would.
Wow.
So that's a lot of people. So we're actually just our county would be state number 46. So it's a lot. As my mother says, it's a lot to say grace over. So it's a lot to deal with in being in office. As we welcome new people, to the county, we continue to grow. We're one of the fastest growing counties, not only in Texas but in America. And so, what does that mean? Being in office, you got to. I'm planning not only for my life but for your life and the roads for your kids. And when y'all graduate and y'all want to go do things and hopefully want to come back here to Denton County, are we going to have the roads ready for you? I always say all these people move here from all over America. A lot of people from California, which is great. But we love to have them here, but they don't bring their roads with them, right? And so we got to prepare the roads and get them all built and expanded. That's one of the functions of the county government.
Yeah, I've done a couple of school bonds before, and it's interesting because every time you have a community meeting, somebody goes, "Why don't you fix the roads first?" I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't really fall under me. I'm not the road guy. I'm the school guy. When you're getting there, I'm the destination, but I can't work on the roads as you get there."
Yeah.
So people usually leave different meetings and they get different educations on how the city government and the school governments and the elected officials that we all serve work.
That's right.
Take us through, your job and mine are different.
Yeah.
But they're saying that they're probably all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
What does a day to day in your world look like that these guys would understand? And it's not 8 o'clock punch the key.
Lord,
No.
What's a day look like? So what is a day in the life of the county judge? So let's talk about what the county government does. Okay. And then we'll talk about a couple of roles in the county government. I think that'd be good to just a little bit of civics lesson for those who are watching. And thank y'all for tuning in. So Denton County was created by the Texas legislature in 1846. Okay, in April of 1846. We have a birthday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So county governments, the initial functions of county governments, and a lot of the legislation about what counties does was done during Reconstruction in the 1880s here in Texas. And so some of the basic functions was build and maintain the county jail, build and maintain county roads, keep the land records, the marriage records, and bury the paupers. So that's someone who does not have any estate so that to be buried. So we kind of bury the paupers. We still bury the paupers. Probably bury one a week still, someone that has no heirs or no money or no resources. And so we still bury the paupers. We still do the other functions too, but we've expanded a lot since then. So when you think about county government, so when y'all turn 18, are y'all 18 yet?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all registered to vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so you'll register to vote through the county. So we do the county elections. So if you kind of think about your life, we're really what I call cradle to grave. Okay, so we're the ones who have your birth certificate, right? And we may vaccinate you when you go off to school through the county health department, and then you're going to turn 18 and you're going to you register to vote through the county. And then you get married, you're going to get a marriage license through the county. And a lot of our justices of the peace in the county, they marry people. When you buy a house, that is going to go, the land records about your mortgage and that you own it, it's going to be filed at the county clerk's office. If you get in a legal dispute, if you get arrested, you're going to go to the county jail, right? And so the district attorney will prosecute you. Or if you get a divorce, that's going to go through the district courts. And if you get jury duty, that's going to be, some municipal courts have they do jury duties for a local case in a municipal court, like a traffic citation or something. But most of those are all going to come through the county, and the district clerk is going to do the jury summons and summons you to that. So we do. Obviously, you go through a district court to get a divorce if the marriage doesn't work out. And we, like I say, we do the voting. We handle county road. There's a lot of county roads and bridges around Krum. When I was a county commissioner, represented Krum. I've represented Krum for 18 years on the commissioner's court. We built a lot of the roads, some of them in, but some outside of Krum, out in the unincorporated part of the county. So those county roads, when you register your vehicle, you do that through the tax office, the county tax office. And so $10 on that registration goes to the County Road and Bridge Fund to help build the county roads and bridges out there. So you deal with the county, whether you like it or not, or you realize it or not, your whole life, right? And you pay your taxes. So when you pay the school taxes, right, to help make all the magic happen here in Krum ISD, people pay their property taxes, and it goes to Denton County. They write the tax assessor, which is Dawn Way. They write her name, Denton County Tax Assessor Collector Dawn Way, and we collect all that for everybody. We collect it for the county, the school district, the cities, or any kind of other special district. And so then we allocate that out to each one of the entities so they get it to their account. So people write a big property tax check to us, but believe me, we only get about 10 or 11%, depending on where you live and how much your school taxes are in your jurisdiction, or how much your city taxes are if you're in a city. You end up paying the county about 10 or 11% of your property taxes. And so those are so we do the road and bridge, and we help advance. We're working on 1173 out here, and working on 35 and 380. That was a big project I did. A lot of kids were getting killed out there on 380, a lot of accidents. Mm-hmm. And I got a real sad email from a lady over in Wise County about her daughter getting killed in a car wreck. And I've been working for years to get that done. And she was a cheerleader over there. Bridgeport got killed, and it was a very sad email. I call it a bloodstained email because it was this email that I got, and I emailed it to all these people that had been telling me no, I was working hard to get 380 built. I got this really sweet email from this lady wanting to know, who do I need to go after? She wanted to go after somebody. She's going through a grief process, as she should. And I said, well, we're going to work together on this. You're not going to go. You don't need to go after anybody. We're going to work together and try to change the hearts of people to make that a road project. So working on state highways like that. It's a state highway. It's not a county road. Some of these little small roads out here around Krum are county roads, and we work, to maintain those. But that was a state highway, and I've been working with TxDOT to get that done. We had it all designed. We need to get the construction dollars. And so getting that email, some of the officials down in Austin got that email from me. That said, and they said, they were calling me the next morning going, okay, Andy, I know you've been honest. I know you've been working on this. Like, we're going to make this become a reality. So that's how you get to help change people. So, and then we do agri-life, and that was one of the things, the master gardeners and master naturalists, a lot of education for folks. And so there's so many different departments that we have at the county, the budget office, the human resources, but the services we provide are some of those related to the roads and bridges and helping with quality of life. And then we do it at the end of your life, if you think about it, as a lifespan from the beginning for your birth certificate. Then we do death investigations. So when someone dies, the county medical examiner comes out and determines the cause of death. We send people to get an autopsy. We don't have our own lab because those are very expensive. So we partner and we pay to have it done over in Tarrant County. I've gone over there and toured that and seen how they do autopsies, which is fascinating. You have a deep appreciation for the Creator, God, who made us, wonderfully made. After you see the insides of how the precision, and also of doctors, thinking how they can operate on you and keep you running. It's kind of like a mechanic working on a car that's running at the same time. And how I have a real great respect for the medical profession after you're seeing autopsies. But and so then we do death certificates and death notifications and all of that. So plus we've got the whole court system that we run, right? So I mean, think about all those different businesses that we're involved in. Those are each like you're in the school business, right? You're not so think about all the different avenues of service and avenues that we're dealing with. And I tell you, it seems like about anytime I'm watching the news, I watch one of the local Dallas channels, probably not the sports section, but when emergency management, we do the emergency management, respond to the tornadoes that happened up here. I was just in College Station yesterday with our emergency management. We were receiving an award for our emergency response efforts when all those people got killed up here on the county line up between us and Cook County back in May. So, an example like that, I was getting calls from the governor. We were up there responding. We were taking care of things, meeting these people, and the governor's calling me. Lieutenant Governor Patrick is calling me. We're on our way up there. We want to see if there's any needs that we need from Texas Department of Emergency Management. So we do the whole emergency management. I mean, so it's lots of different opportunities, right? And what the county's involved in. And so the county judge, the job has an interesting title because there's 254 counties in the state of Texas. And there's about a dozen of us, the most populated counties, where the judges do not have a docket, so we're not a presiding officer. Okay, so the other judges will do the juvenile docket. So if you're a juvie, if you're a minor and you go to the court system, so they handle the juvenile docket and the probate docket. So the probate is when you die and your kids are deciding now who gets what, going to read the will and allocate all the assets of the estate. Or if you're mentally incompetent, let's just say that you have Alzheimer's and you need to put a guardian, the court needs to assign a guardian to you and says, someone to look out for your best interest, your health and welfare. And you may not have a child to do it. We may get a court appointed attorney to do that for you. So that's a probate. So the smaller counties, the judges do the probate docket and the juvenile docket. And so we have 3 judges that do in Denton County doing nothing but probate. And we have a juvenile judge that does nothing but juvenile. So those are 4 other judges that are filled with that docket. So I don't have judicial duties like that. So I still can, because I'm a Texas County judge, I can marry people, and I'll marry people occasionally. A friend will call me and one of their kids needs to get married or something like that. Or someone's going to go off, they're signed up and they're going to go overseas in the military and they want to get married real quick and they're trying to get it up. They'll call and I just do a few a year, if that.
Do you know how many couples you've married over your time?
Probably a dozen, not many. But the JPs really do a lot of that. The justices of the peace do that, and Valentine's is a very big day for them. They crank out the weddings on those.
So have you always, in your position, not overseen an actual court?
Correct. So,
or was there ever a time in your career that you did
so
do
the
that?
last judge that did that was Judge Mosley, Judge Jeff Mosley. And so when he was judge, they created the other judges in the county, and that has to be done legislatively through the Texas legislature. They allocate, the dockets, and so with the enabling legislation for that county judge, and so he didn't, and then he was succeeded by several other judges. So I've been in office 18 years, and so we've never 6 as county judge, 12 as county commissioner, but I've never had those. My predecessor didn't either. So that was several county judges.
But you were saying you're a bad driver. He's not going to be able to get you out of ticket.
I cannot help you with that. No,
I said I was a good driver.
I'm so sorry.
I'm a great driver.
So the county judge, so their positions, we talked about what they didn't do, right? They don't do the judicial functions, but what does the county judge do? And so in large part, some states call it different titles. Some states call it a county executive. Okay, some states, call like a county mayor. So you're kind of like mayor of the county, like you have a mayor of Krum, you have a mayor of the county, and so that is kind of what the function. So we meet every week at 9:00 at the courthouse, and so for commissioners court, and there's 5 members, and so there's the county judge and 4 commissioners. They're like the city council, but for the county, and they each have a geographical area that they represent.
Do y'all meet the same day every week, or is it
9:00 every Tuesday, once a week? And so that's a great question. So we meet at 9:00 on Tuesdays, and so any kind of contract with the county, we have to vote on that. Any kind of expenditure, we vote on that. We get a big bill report every week about all the expenses that we've got to sign off on from the county auditor. So there's 5 of us on the commissioner's court, but there's over 40 elected officials in the county government. So by the time you add the district attorney and the county treasurer and the county clerk and the district clerk and all the judges, all the justices of the peace, all the constables, there's a lot of elected officials and the sheriff. So we have all of them, but there's only 5 of us that legally have to sign up that adopt the budget. We adopt the budget every summer, just like the school board does, and just like the city does. So we adopt the budget, and then we set the tax rate, and so we can tell the sheriff how many people he can hire and what the pay scale is, but we can't tell him who to hire or who not to hire. Okay, so we say you got 400 positions, but we can't pick and choose. So that is kind of how that works. So one of the functions of the county judge is to preside over commissioner's court. We get to vote. Some mayors don't get to vote, but we do. There's 5 of us. The judge does get to vote. You're the presiding officer. And so you're representing the county on lots of boards and committees, and not only in the county, but across the metroplex or the state. So you're working on lots of regional issues for air quality and water and roads and everything. So there's lots of different functions that we're involved in. But the civic life that we're involved in, there's your county roles and responsibilities, and then a lot of what you have to do is dealing with your nonprofits. I was on the phone the whole way up here for 45 minutes with a lady from another county dealing with a nonprofit that she's dealing with that also has a presence here in our county, and they help people that need housing assistance. And so she was asking for some assistance with that because they have a presence up here, and can I help work with the board on some things? And I said, absolutely. And so you have to clearly do your day job, which is working, on the county business. And then you're dealing with a lot of nonprofits on a lot of nonprofit boards. Because there's the county government and the city government, the school district can't do everything. So we need our friends, our nonprofits. We need our churches and our civic organizations to help out and raise money and minister to people and help them with their life. And so working with the nonprofits, and there's also, you're an elected official. So all the county office holders are elected every 4 years. And so how do you got to work on getting reelected. So you have your political activities that you have to do as well in the midst of everything, but at different times of year, different years are a little bit more busy with all county stuff, with a little bit of sprinkling of political activities, but the nonprofits is always a big part. The political part is probably the very smallest of those 3 circles that kind of overlap that you have to kind of focus on. It's kind of interesting business.
Okay, so give us a day in the life, like recently with you, like from when you wake up to when you go to sleep.
Okay, great question. I don't sleep much, which is kind of nice, I guess. Maybe not so much. I don't know. But so I get to every day is very different, and they're not always at the office. Okay, I'll tell you that. So this is, for example, today I was on the phone the whole way up to the office.
What time did you wake up?
I got up around 6. I only sleep about 6 hours.
What time do you get up, Brent?
What time do you get up?
Like 8.
8. Okay. Well, you need to come hang with me for a day. I would love to do this. We could do this one day. We could plan it. Y'all could come do a day in the life with me and shadow me one day, which would be super fun. Y'all may not think it's fun. You may think it's just
see what you do.
No, I think
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, but like today was I was on the phone dealing with people the whole way up to the office. Got to the office, had to sign a bunch of the stuff for the packet. The ladies in the office were preparing me for everything we had to do today. I got back late last night I was in Sunday. I went to College Station with our emergency management people, took them to dinner had some staff development with them, got up, worked in a hotel room in the morning, then did the luncheon and all that stuff here today. Was on the phone with state reps yesterday, the whole way back, talking about transportation and other issues. Was on the phone for 3 hours from College Station the whole way home. Then had to go to the hospital to see my mother-in-law and then do emails late at night. Get up, went to bed around midnight, got up this morning early, hit it hard, working. Did commissioner's court for about 9 to 10. Had a couple of meetings right after that. Prepared stuff. We're going down in a couple of weeks for Denton County Days. Talking with the staff and other elected officials about planning that. We're taking about 225 people from the county down to Austin to talk to our legislators and learn about the process and hopefully influence the process positively. Then gave an hour presentation just now to the Fireman Chamber of Commerce and was on the phone whole way here with this nonprofit from another county for 45 minutes, kind of visit with y'all. More phone calls on my way back down, and I got a meeting from 4 to 6 tonight, a board meeting, working with a nonprofit, and I had a speech at 7 in Arlington, and then I travel back to Austin tonight for meetings in the morning with legislators. That's the last 24 hours.
So how I see you like talk like you like give a lot of speeches and like
Yes.
presentations.
Uh-huh.
How'd you get good at it? Like not getting like nervous or like
It takes time. It takes time. That's a great question. So I would tell your viewers and if there's any students still watching that, it just takes experience. I think the best thing is just to be prepared, kind of know what you're talking about, right? To know what you're talking about. So that I think understanding what your content is the first thing. And then just being authentic and being yourself. I think that's part of it. But yeah, I remember my first debate I went to and I ran 19 years ago, and I was just literally sick to my stomach, hyperventilating with a brown paper sack. So nervous about that debate because I was running against a guy who had been in office. He was a master of the facts and figures and all that, and so nerves are part of it. But I think if you have nerves about giving a speech, my advice is to treat it as, don't think of it as nerves as a bad thing. Think of it as excitement. You're excited about doing something. So get the kind of the bad connotation because you're wound up. You got adrenaline going, like you're going before a big game or something. You're kind of wound up. Treat that as a positive influence, and that you're alive. You're thinking about things. You're excited about it. You want to be there.
Almost as your fuel.
It's like fuel. Yeah, like jet fuel. Yeah. So I don't caffeinate before I go on either because I'm already wound up anyway. So I don't do that.
And so
no.
with your, because you just went over kind of like your day in the life, but over your last 24 hours and everything, does it tend to look different every single day, or do you have
It does.
certain days that will be the same thing ongoing?
So every Tuesday at 9, so we have the commissioner's court. So that's kind of a fixed. So we kind of work on that. And I do Rotaries on Friday morning. That is one of the things I'm involved in is Rotary International, and I encourage y'all to do Rotary.
What is that?
So Rotary is a service organization. It's founded in 1905. And so we have it for high school. We have it for high schools and college-age kids and then adults. And so I encourage y'all, we can talk offline about that, but about Rotary. But I'm very involved in Rotary, been for 24 years, and some of my very best friends are in Rotary. And so it's just a charitable organization. It's the world's largest charity organization. We have 35,000 Rotary clubs all around the world. Started in 1905 and in Chicago. But anyway, over 1 million members. And so we just do good work. People getting together weekly and doing good stuff. Couldn't do what we've done here at the county health department. That's a big thing that we do. All of our vaccinations we did during COVID and all those different things. We use our Rotary clubs and volunteers and everything. So, but every day is a little bit different. But I have pages and pages of meeting requests. So we get meeting requests. Some meetings I need to call. I need to meet with people. Most of them are people who want to meet with us. So we have to prioritize those. There's only so many hours in a day. Sometimes it can't be a meeting. It has to be a phone call. Or I'll meet with anybody. If they want to meet with us, I'll be happy to meet with anybody. It might be a little bit because we book up a little bit out. So that is, every minute is very much accounted for. So for weeks out, kind of what we're going to do. And then you have to plan in the unexpected, right? When you have an emergency or a plumbing leak happens in one of the county buildings and you got to stop everything. And we got to figure out where we're going to move everybody and how we're going to close the county and all that. So you have to kind of budget for your time schedule, the unexpected, right? You got to budget unexpected, knowing that stuff's going to happen. So everybody's got to be flexible with you in life. Like I got to clear out the afternoon because we got to a flooding issue that we're having to deal with. I watch the weather a lot. Because a lot of what the county does is weather related, whether it's road and bridge, whether it's emergency management, so weather impacts a lot of the operations. Mm-hmm.
Whenever y'all want me to cancel school on weather's days, usually I have 4 or 5 phone calls a day. Right. The county is really strong at that. I've worked in other counties.
Yeah.
The resource of that weather update and the vast amount of information you get, and it's updated. I mean, we probably have in the thick of it, there may be 4 to 6 meetings a day if it's changing. Mm-hmm. And we all get on Zooms together, and he usually organizes and starts it off, and then you have the national people talk.
The National Weather Service is talking. And
they go all through it, and I'm sitting in my office over here making sure, getting y'all's text, cancel school, Cochran, cancel school, Cochran.
And then
my kids are always asking me too. I mean, that's one of the things that the county does is we're kind of coordinating people, right? So they're, and I'm not going to close the Krum schools. That's their local decision, but they want to hear, what is everybody else doing? What is Denton doing? What does the weather look like? It might be clear right now, but in 2 hours, it's going to be very different. And so we're kind of coordinating conversations, right? And so that we're very close. So we have 50 cities in the county, and you got 5 state reps and 2 senators, and all these county officials and all the school boards. And so there's a lot of different elected officials or leaders amongst the county. So we do a lot of convening homes conversations, whether it's what are we going to do about homeless, or what are we going to do about the weather next week, or what are we going to do about different responses? How do we work in a coordinated effort and work together instead of against one another? So that's one of the roles that the county does, is very much kind of convening conversations and dialogues and working on initiatives.
Yeah. So Judge Eads' job, from what he described, really fits the model of what the foundation of this group that we started with the student leadership group. The whole foundation from the very first lesson we talked about was servant leadership. And y'all worked on defining your own definition of servant leadership. And here we are, we got 2 months left of school and you guys are done. And, kind of going around the horn, revisit what servant leadership means to you. Same thing we did that first lesson. What it means to you, what it means to you now compared to when you came in here in August. The person, the adult in your life that represents that. Mm-hmm. And tell us who that is and why they represent it. And if you don't mind, what servant leadership, and then what adult when you were younger had that impact on you? But we'll start. I'll let you start.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like mine still is kind of very similar to what it was whenever I first came into this. There's just a better understanding to it. So absolutely, with just coming together as a whole and kind of like you said, working together to make everything better, and just, I don't know, kind of like normalizing the coming together and not just figuring out like by yourself, but really being a leader in it and expressing that to the people out there as well. And mine was my dad.
And why what is your dad? Tell me.
He just does everything for the people that he loves and the people around him. If he was just living for himself, didn't have a family to provide for or anything, he wouldn't be working the job that he is now, Mm-hmm. And he reminds us of that all the time. What matters most is what is back home.
Mm-hmm. So I think I said something along the lines of like showing, like being a leader is like doing what you're doing like behind closed doors and what people can see and what people can't see, how you carry yourself, things you say, especially online that people don't know, like it's all along the lines of that. And then my person was my uncle on my mom's side, because he was in the military, and just the way he carried himself when I was younger, just like made me want to be like him. And so I chose him. But
well, that's a great question. It's tough to kind of narrow it down to any one person. I was raised by 2 very devoted parents who were devoted to each other and to our family, and I think they were shining examples still to this day. But of my childhood, my dad's public service career professionally, they always were helping out at school, all the different schools we went to. They always were kind of helping out and volunteering and sponsoring activities and, helping. And so that was a really good opportunity. But, looking back, I've been able to find people in each stage of my life, in my undergraduate, and in my graduate degree, and in my first job. And I worked at the town of Addison. I was early in my career, and I worked there and got to learn how cities operate and all that. And then my real estate career, I had a real estate career, I, and then at the county. And so I would encourage y'all and the viewers out there. And I kind of coined this phrase years ago. I was giving a speech, and they asked me to give a big keynote speech somewhere. And I kind of was thinking about it, prepping for it, and I came up with this little term like lighthouse people. If you think about a lighthouse is steady and strong throughout the weather, and they're there to shine the way for all the people coming by, all the boats that are coming by, whether it's a large boat or a little boat, regardless of the boat. And it's free. Think about it. You don't pay to have a lighthouse there. It's a public good, right? The government pays for that to be there for everybody to benefit. And I thought, it's important to have lighthouse people in your life that kind of steady and strong, have good guidance, and they're just there being a shining example to everyone. It kind of watches them. A lighthouse doesn't jump up and tell you what to do, right? But by example, it shines away. And so I thought, and we were dedicating the Denton County Transportation Authority. We were dedicating a train station after a man who was one of my lighthouse people, and asked me to come speak about him. And it was a great honor to get to do that. And so I kind of publicly said it for the first time. Mr. Emery, Charles Emery, was a lighthouse person to me, just a very steady person to my life and others. Sometimes I go into a tough meeting. My wife would know I have a big meeting the next day, and she'll say, channel your inner Charles Emery, because Mr. Emery was always handled things with grace and class and was super professional, and so sometimes you kind of wonder what to do in life. You kind of think, how would somebody handle something? And so I would just encourage you to find those lighthouse people in your life. You probably had them here in Krum at high school. You probably have them, they're elsewhere. They're at other places. When you go off to college or do a career or whatever, find somebody that can speak into your life. And I'm at that stage right now. I still have lighthouse people. I still have them. But now I'm becoming one of those, and so got invited down in Dallas to a couple weeks ago to speak for all the planning and zoning commissioners and the city urban planners across Dallas, Fort Worth, 11 county area. This big, huge conference. They wanted me to give the lunch and keynote address. So why'd y'all pick me? And they told me why. And I said, okay. And I was full, and the schedule was full, had to redo a lot of things, but I thought, no, I need to go and encourage them to keep doing the right thing. As these counties are growing, these cities are growing, they're planning and zoning, and they're approving projects and everything. And I thought, someone spoke into my life and gave me good advice along the way. And I remember what that is about planning, how to plan a city, how to look at landscaping, and how to look at the signage, and how do you make things beautiful and work on beautification while you're developing things. And I thought, no, people have been very generous over my years as I've learned all of that, and it's time for me to return that. So if you think about your life, you can kind of divide it up into thirds. If you think about it, the first third is you learn, and the second third is you earn. So you have a successful career. And the third is you return. You're returning. You're learning, earning, returning. And so if you kind of think about that, but I encourage you not to wait on the returning to the last third. You're always returning. You're giving back to your school, your student leaders. You're obviously helping out here. This production with the rest of the crew here is helping out. But if you can volunteer your time, talent, and treasure throughout your life, that's always tell my kids. I always tell my kids that to volunteer your time, talent, and treasure throughout your life. And that's my parting words when I get on an airplane. I send them a text. Same thing. Love Jesus. Go to God. Go to church. Love Jesus, and volunteer your time, talent, treasure throughout your life. That's what I want my parting words to them to be. I always do that. And so, if you do that throughout your life, the wonderful relationships you'll have, and have people want to speak into your life. People want to help you along with your career. Raise your hand, say, can you give me some advice about this? I call and get advice all the time from people as we've got big decisions to make. And people help you out in whatever your job is. What do y'all plan on doing for your careers? Have y'all thought about it?
Yes, sir. I'm going to college, majoring majoring in kinesiology.
All right. Good.
I want to like help athletes with
Mhm.
like physical therapy
Yeah.
and like PT and stuff. But
Okay.
yes, sir.
Good. Have you picked a school?
Yes, sir. I'm going to Blinn College down in College
Perfect.
Station.
Yes. Yes.
Then I'm
Perfect.
transferring to A&M after I
Yeah.
get my
All right.
associates.
Diego Mags. All right. Very good. How about you?
Right now, I'm kind of torn between two things.
Okay.
I've always been very set on cosmetology.
Yep.
I love it, and it is a passion of mine. And I think it's something that I would enjoy doing every
Mhm.
single day, and I wouldn't wake up not wanting to do
Do
my
it.
job and
Yeah.
provide. But I've also recently been thinking about continuing my track career in college.
Okay.
So yeah, right now I'm just between two things.
Maybe you can do both.
Right.
That's right. Do one and then later do the other.
Yep.
That's good.
Were you a athlete when you were younger? Are you?
I did. I was not a good athlete. I was more the class president type, as you could probably imagine. But no, I did in the yearbook. I was always the yearbook editor. Always helped out doing the yearbook. But no, I was on the basketball team in high school, and I didn't do track and I didn't do football, but I did basketball. My height helped with that, and then I did all the little league stuff, when you're in grade school, did all that.
Every single sport.
Did all of that,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that, and was in Cub Scouts, and my boys were in Boy Scouts, and so I got to help them, but both become Eagle Scouts, and that was a fun thing to get to go back and do a lot of scouting with them. It's fun. Appreciate all those fun memories.
Mm-hmm.
So you told us a lot about your work side of life, but like, say whenever you're at home, just and you're free, if you ever have time, what do you do? Like, what do you watch? TV, Netflix, YouTube?
This is true confessions. I have very little free time. To have free with my job, I always made my kids a priority. Always made the kids a priority. So I read a biography about Mr. Walt Disney, and he did his Mr. Disney had two girls, and he ran that studio all those years and was very, very busy out in Hollywood and did all these amusement parks and everything. But when the girls were young, he just had the studios, and he picked his kids up from school every day. And that was kind of I made a point to take them early in the morning, work all day at the courthouse, and then go down and pick them up around 4:00. And my secretary would always have a call list for me when I leave the office, and she'd say, "Here's your call list." I'd use the whole time in the car to pick them up, doing return calls, pick up the kids, take them home, do a little bit, and do stuff with them in the evening, eat dinner. And then I usually have an evening event every night of the week. Every night of the week is an evening, or more, multiples. So a lot of times I took them when the kids were little. I'd have 2 or 3 mixers, got to go to a city council meeting, whatever it is, and I would take them with me. So otherwise they didn't see them. So I said, "Come on, we're going to go. Got a couple of chamber of commerce mixers or a couple of meetings and political meeting." And so they got to see what I did for a living. And I'd take them and I said, "Come on, we'll go get a hamburger or an ice cream after." So that was a lot of fun. So I really took them. So they know all these projects around here. So they know the inside of every city hall and all that. So that was a lot of fun raising the kids. So it's kind of your time kind of different. So any spare time was always with the kids, so that the kids are grown. So I do a lot of nonprofit work and a lot of county work. There's a lot of meetings, even in evenings. It's amazing how much government is done after hours, right? And almost a banquet every Saturday night. Just about every Saturday night of the year, there's a banquet. This Saturday it's a big deal. It's the National Medal of Honor Museum in Arlington. And so very special to get to go to that opening. And so I thought about who wanted to go with me and found a veteran who had a great career with the service. And so invited him, and he's going to be with me Saturday night to get to go be a part of that. So there's a lot of activities. I do like genealogy. And so back when I was y'all's age, I started researching my family history. This is way before Ancestry and all that kind of stuff. You have to do libraries. And so I encourage you, if you're interested in that, to start now. And everything that's in the library is going to be there in the library.
Okay? The library is a place where they have books.
They have books and records, all those birth records we talked about earlier. Thank goodness. So I did have the foresight as a young man I said, if it's written down, it's got to be written down. I don't need to spend time piecing all that together. What I need to spend my time doing is interviewing everyone that's alive. So I went out and visited with all the relatives, my great aunts and great uncles, back when, all my grandparents and their cousins and everybody. So I went and did tape recorded interviews with big tape recorded interviews with all of them. What was it like growing up? I had all these basic questions. And what was it like? Where were you when Kennedy died? And where were you when Roosevelt died? And all these people years ago. So did all those oral histories. I knew it. And so all those people are gone. All those people have died, and so I preserved all of that, those oral histories. They say when somebody dies, a library burns. Think about it. So they take all those memories with them, all that knowledge with them, all that advice and life experience. So and I'm going to interview everybody. I can come back and fill in all the details. So that's what I did. So I like doing family history, family research. I did a lot of that when I was younger, in college age. I did a lot of that. But I spent a lot of evenings catching up on emails, which is really sad. So, but I and the weekends. But I love volunteering through Rotary. We do church activities. I believe in church activities. So do Rotary, do a church. My mom and dad live 8 doors down from me. Very blessed in that. They're both in good health, in their 80s, and live 8 doors down from me. So I see them almost every day. I run by and see them and check on them and run errands for them. That's just a blessing to get to have them in my life. 8 doors down is just wonderful. So I get to see them. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was hoping one of the purposes of this meeting was for you to leave some words of wisdom and advice for these guys, but I think you hit the nail on the head and kind of finish up, revisit your flight departure text to your kids one more time. Yes. And I want you guys to think about this and take this with you too. I think this is very wise and something worth cherishing.
So I say, go to church, love Jesus, and I tell them to marry well. That's the other part, marry well. And then to volunteer their time, talent, and treasure throughout their life. Your time, talent. So you have a talent, right? You have a talent. And so how do your skills and abilities that God's given you and that you developed, that people have helped you to hone those skills and abilities, how can you use those to help other people? That's your talent. Time, giving of your time. Like you gotta, and then your treasures, your finances. You're starting out in life. You may not have a lot of financial resources, right? You might be in college for a long time. You don't have a bunch, but you can volunteer. You can give of your time, and so time, talent, treasure just kind of ebbs and flows and ups and downs. You might have a lot of time that year. You can give a lot of time, or you might be very busy making money in your career, and I don't have much time, but I can write you a check. I can support your efforts financially. I can't go and volunteer. I can't do all that right now, but I will be happy to support your good efforts and those who do have the time. And so that time, talent, and treasure, you kind of put those to use in different ways through your profession, through volunteering, through civic life. If you kind of do that wherever you live, even when you go off to college, some of my best memories in life are volunteering in college, right? Building the float or helping on someone's campaign or, just doing different acts. That's how I met my wife, being in a civic group. And so we were time, talent, and treasure. If you kind of think about it, what am I doing? And try to do a good deed, like the Boy Scouts say, do a good deed daily. Think about it. What's your good deed? What did you do for a good deed day? If you try to live by those basic principles, you're going to be pretty set. The great education you got here in Krum, great start here from the county.
Well, I know your time is precious, so I do appreciate spending some time with us and getting to know. We have just under 2,600 amazing kids, and we're growing. But these are just a couple of the student leaders that I get to spend some time with, and love what I get to do for a living. Crum's a great place. The kids see it on my taglines, and I say it on the announcements when I put things out there. But it's a great day to be a Bobcat.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of good things. If you wanted to finish up, he's got something for you.
Oh, perfect. What is it?
Something for your office.
Oh, for the office.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
I have lots. This is great. I have lots of golden shovels. They're not real gold. They're painted for all the different road projects and county buildings. I do not have a helmet. I just
now you have the only one you need.
This is my. It's starting with the best. Is that right?
It's a great day to be a Bobcat.
So no, this is great. Thank y'all for staying tuned and watching this show today. I think it's been so fun to get to talk to student leaders. I would tell you, it gives me hope when I go out and meet student leaders. I'm sure you feel the same inspiration when you go out and visit with those bright kids, and you're like, okay, America's going to be in good hands. These kids are bright. They're dedicated to service above self, and not just your own self, but
I think sometimes
civic
the
life.
world is reflective of what they see on social media. Those 5 minutes,
Absolutely.
and young adults, we have rock stars here.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to work with great kids, blessed to work with great teachers in a great community. It's one of the things I do love about this size of a district. I still get to
Mhm.
go on the campuses. I still see these guys doing what
Yeah.
they do. I still get to,
Absolutely.
pulled up to him in the parking lot this morning because he may get up at 8, but he rolls into school, but whenever he wants, sometimes as a senior. But I had to remind him about today, and then she didn't even check an email. So I had to make sure that still being able to
I
comfortable
usually
enough
do.
to get on campus and catch these guys.
Well, stay in touch with your administration and your teachers and your coaches. I think that's important. One of my teachers, I'm still friends with my first grade teacher, like from first grade, all those years ago at Central Elementary in Louisville. And we're going to do a back to school special, kind of like this. And the schedules didn't work out. We're going to do it next year. But my high school English teacher called me today about moving, and I needed some advice about different things and so forth. I mean, so I still keep in touch with people. When you leave Krum, hopefully you come back, go off and get more education and come back here. But if you don't, stay in touch with your educators, because they do care about you, that they love you, and they want the best for you. So keep those relationships going. Maintain the relationships throughout your life. That's a piece of advice I would say. Maintain those relationships, your friends, your roommates at school, all that people, like, just kind of cultivate and maintain those relationships. That's something that's easier for y'all to do, since y'all could text people and
Absolutely.
you can keep all the contact information. We didn't have cell phones back then. I got to track these people down now.
Well,
so this is
We
great.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Time, talent, and treasure.
Time,
Thank y'all
talent, treasure.
for hanging with us today. Thank you again.
You bet.
Thank you guys for your time
Great
as well.
questions.
It's a great day to be a Bobcat.
Absolutely.